So let's have a look at this episode then. Do you want to talk us through?
I will. Okay.
Now give me 1 second. Still got that graveyard cough, listeners. I'm sorry. Hanging around like a bad fart.
Do you need to see someone about that?
No, it apparently lasts about 6 weeks.
Okay.
It's so boring.
Now, I will be saying a lot of names that people don't know here, so I'll try and...
Including myself.
Condense it a little bit. So I'll split it into 3 nights.
Okay.
Basically 3 nights of going out on the lash, getting pissed, snogging people and shagging.
Yes.
And arguing.
Right.
Arguing is a big one. There's conflicts galore set up in this episode, which is the common story narrative structure.
Yes.
You know,
it's just one self-induced crisis to another, isn't it?
Well, it is. It's all conflict and resolution in this. You can see it's a very kind of formulaic pattern, really. So Jay is jealous of Vicky. So Jay is the boyfriend of Vicky, and he's jealous
for 2 weeks.
Yeah, of Vicky going out, talking to lads and friends on a night out. So Vicky is kind of like a nice outgoing girl. You know, she's very confident in her own body, in her own self, and she's been going out with Jay, and Jay sees her chatting to other people, literally going on a night out, chatting to boys, chatting to girls. Jay doesn't like it. Tells Vicky, I don't like you talking to other lads.
Yeah.
Vicky is a little hero of mine in this, I have to say. Right. Although she is painted as the villain. Let's discuss that. Vicky basically tells him to fuck off. Mm-hmm. Who do you think you are, trying to control me, telling me who and I can and cannot talk to?
Is this the bit when they had this argument, this bust-up, then she goes out to get a cab, he follows her out. I love this. She hasn't got any money for the cab, so she says to him, go and get someone to give me some money. He says, fuck off. And that's how good on you, Vicky.
Jay is this, I mean, he is muscled.
Yes.
He is preened, he's tanned. He is quite hot, apart from...
Not difficult on the eye, was he?
Well, he's not difficult on the eye, but apart from his eyebrows.
I didn't notice. I wasn't looking at his boobs.
Right, but I mean, he's got these real sculpted eyebrows that he's obviously gone to a salon to do. I mean, I'm talking about metrosexual males and all that, but they just looked a little bit ridiculous.
But remember, grooming is very important in the Northeast, and for men as well. And we talked the last episode about me granddad being that old generation, always in the suit.
Yeah.
This is just like a new permutation of this working class Northern. It's very important you look your best when you're going out.
Yeah, but them eyebrows didn't look the best on anybody.
But then the thing is, it's not necessarily to look the best, it's to show that you've looked groomed. So people can see you've made an effort, you've smartened yourself up.
Fine. I mean, well, you're talking to a man who, when I go to the hairdressers now, I ask him to do my eyebrows. Well, I don't even have to ask them these days. They say, do you want your eyebrows doing? It's literally like a bush. I'm like one of them 2 old men in the balcony in the Muppets.
Yes. Yeah, well, that's what men of our age used to look like back in the day. Yeah. I, at the moment, you can't see it because I've waxed it down. But I have a white eyebrow hair, which is 1 inch long. I've put it across here so you can't see it. But if I went like that, it would go like an antenna.
Really?
Yeah. I tried to pull it out yesterday, but it was too painful.
Really? And now they burn your ear hair off.
Don't do that. That's ridiculous. Get a little...
No, I do. But then when I go to this Turkish barber, he's got like, you know, like when you see fire jugglers, when they light it, well, he's got this little stick with a cotton ball on the end, lights it, and then puts it towards your ear and burns your hair off. Nah. It's quite fun.
Nah.
Yeah.
No. Carry on.
Okay. So yeah, Jay and Vicky are arguing. Jay's jealous. Vicky tells him to fucking go and do one.
Yes.
How would you say that in Geordie?
Fuck off!
Now, Charlotte, on the other hand, is in love with Gary.
Gaz.
Charlotte's desperate to pull to prove she doesn't have feelings for Gary.
Right.
It all makes sense in their heads. It all made sense in our heads when we were 22.
Yes, it did. Yeah. I'll show him.
Yeah, I'll show him. I don't like him by bringing a lad back and shagging him instead.
Yes.
But, well, Gary feels as though he's had a lucky escape from Charlotte by Charlotte bringing another lad back.
Right.
So there's that dynamic going on.
There's a lot of sexual one-upmanship, isn't there? And it's almost like you're not validated as a person unless you're having sex.
Yeah.
And if you're not having sex, then there's something wrong with you. Which I'm not sure is a particularly positive message to be sending to viewers, especially younger viewers.
So meanwhile, while Charlotte's humping away upstairs and Gary is heaving a huge sigh of relief, cut back to Vicky and Jay, who come back and they're in just like this hideously toxic, booze-fueled row.
Yeah, I think this is the point where I just mentally
Yeah.
just left the room a little bit.
Yeah. So, yeah, and then they split up, basically.
Right.
But what I want to talk about is the way that Vicky is painted as the villain on this. And it might be a good time now to talk about how the women are represented in this show and how the males are represented in this show.
But I mean, one of the problematic things about this show is the gender norms which both the women and the men are subscribed to. So Jay at one point says Geordie Shore is a man's world, which means that they go to the gym, they're basically there to shag girls. Whereas one of the girls says, I can't remember who it was, says, oh, well, we're girls, so we get jealous, you know. When actually we've just had a fucking half an hour of Jay being jealous, you know. But there are these gendered acceptances which are part of the things which fuel the narratives in this, which I think are a bit weird, bit troubling, actually.
Well, I mean, it's tale as old of time, isn't it?
Boys will be boys.
Boys will be boys,
Yeah.
and if they go out shagging, then, you know, it's like a little notch on their bedpost for, oh, yeah, boys, you know.
Exactly. You can get away with anything because boys will be boys, you know, a load of old shit.
Whereas the girls are portrayed as being emotional.
Yes.
As being morally ambiguous.
Yes.
Being slags, basically, if they go out and shag around.
Yeah.
And also painted as villains.
Yes.
In this piece, Vicki Pattinson in particular, I felt the way they constructed it, the way they edit it, we're talking about the producers here, they very much painted Vicki as a villain. Whereas, in fact, I don't think that Vicki has particularly done anything wrong.
No, and actually what I like is that the producers might paint them as villains, but the girls themselves are unabashed with it, which I found really refreshing. And it, for me, I didn't actually get the sense that they were being slut-shamed. They might be by the other cast members, but the programme in general does not go out of its way to slut-shame. I think, if anything, it just tries to paint villains as opposed to giving a moral judgment. I think it leaves the moral judgment up to the viewers, where it's internally the cast giving the aspersions and giving the moral judgments. Go on.
I kind of disagree with that.
Right.
I really felt like it was...
I mean, but as I said, I had kind of mentally switched off a bit.
Right,
because it was just lots of shouting.
I just felt as if, like, oh yeah, okay, we're going to show the boys in the gym, larking around, talking about wall-to-wall Fanny.
Yes.
And, she's just my type, tiny little bird, and all that.
Yeah.
Very much macho, very much painted as the ones on the prowl, quite predatory, but at the same time celebrated for doing it.
Yes, and performing that kind of sexuality for each other more than anybody else. You know, we're going to go out and shag lots of birds. We're going to do this. You know, it's all this jostling just to show that you're a peacock, basically, isn't it? Yeah.
Whereas the girls, I felt, were portrayed, and they picked the moments where the girls were being desperate, were being bitchy, backbiting, callous towards other girls, emotional, unpredictable. So yeah, I really did feel it painted women in a really bad light here.
Right.
Whereas, you know, there's two, you know, the boys and the girls, they're two sides to the same story. So what's necessary to paint the boys as heroes and the girls as villains?
Yeah, and actually there's one point where the girls go on a triple blind date.
Yes.
Is that right, with three guys?
Yeah, to show the lads that they're not bothered.
Them. Yeah. But it struck me because the girls slag off the blind dates and the boys slag off the blind dates. You know, it's just this constant kind of jostling.
Yeah,
it's just,
and that was set up by the producers because lo and behold, by coincidence, they all end up back in the same club.
Yes,
the dates, the girls, and the boys.
Yeah,
you know, Gaz has gone on a date with a beautiful, pretty girl to make Charlotte jealous, and all this.
Even though he's not bothered.
Even though he's not bothered, and it just felt okay. At the end of each day, the producers are sat in a room thinking, what do we need to do to move this story forward? What do we need to tell these contributors to do to make the most explosive story?
Yes, yeah. What else you got? What else happened?
Well, it's actually quite funny because there's two boys, James and Greg, go on the pull. Lads.
Yes.
But they picked the wrong night to go because, They say, we're going to go out tonight. It's going to be wall-to-wall fanny.
It's obviously a
We're
Tuesday.
Yeah. And every pub they go into, obviously, again, it's set up. There's no one there.
No.
Or there's very slim pickings.
Don't they try and crack onto some older ladies at one point?
They strut around like peacocks, like giving it the big I am and stuff. And every girl they talk to basically just gives them the short shrift. So it's like they resort to, or it's painted as they resort to having to chat up a mother and daughter.
Yes.
And even the mother and daughter are just a bit like, oh, fucking on your way.
Yeah.
So I liked that because it was so cringe. They'd bin it all off to go and get a pizza at the end of the day, being really unsuccessful. So it was fun. It was fun, that bit.
And also, my mum used to go out, even in her 50s and 60s. Young lads would always crack on to her.
Yeah.
It's a real thing. I think young lads in Newcastle, I don't know if it's the same way around, but will just any hole is a goal, basically, to be crude.
So, just on a side note, obviously you're from Northumberland,
Yes.
you're not from Tyneside,
Yeah.
but you've got a closer opinion than I have about Newcastle and about the drinking culture. Is it or was it in 2011, as it's represented here in Geordie Shore?
Yes. In fact, if anything, it's even worse now. Because now it's known as like the stag and hen party capital.
Right.
And people seem to go to Newcastle to lose their fucking minds because it is so geared around that. And every Friday, Saturday night is packed. The bars and pubs are packed. It's rammed. So I think it's very accurate representation. And people just go crazy. Really pished, really messy. The girls are in next to nothing.
It's cold up there.
It's fucking freezing. Newcastle's not far from the coast.
Yeah.
And it can be -3, -4, and you're still... One of the things, though, is because Newcastle's actually quite a concentrated city, the travel distance between pubs and bars is quite small. So you're never cold for longer than a couple of minutes before you can get into somewhere else that's warm.
Right.
So I can kind of understand that, but it is, I think it's, if anything, worse these days.
Right.
Yeah.
That's interesting. That's interesting.
I don't know who that bloody MP was. It's not like this at all. Where have you been?
Mind you, we went out on the lash, didn't we? When we were younger.
Yeah, I used to go out in the town all the time when I lived there. Yeah.
Okay, so now, anyway, I won't go into too much about what happens, but Vicky gets upset that the girls have been slagging them off, which they deny wholeheartedly, even though there's video footage of them slagging Vicky off behind her back.
Right.
Now, it's obvious to me that the producers have told Vicky this. Vicky gets upset. So this is when I just felt like Vicky was being exploited by the producers, because Vicky got upset. I don't think it was the case of the producers telling her to get upset. They basically whispered in her ear, they've been slagging you off behind your back.
Well, it's that horrible feeling when somebody says to you, everybody thinks it.
Yeah.
Because then you start to doubt yourself, don't you? It did strike me that was a bit cruel.
Yeah, so it was as though the producers had lit the blue touch paper onto Vicky, and she was naturally upset. She come onto the show to, whatever kind of expectations she had about this show, it all kind of comes crashing down. She's had this massive argument with this 3-week-old boyfriend.
Yeah.
The girls don't like her, or at least they like her to her face.
Yes.
So she goes down. She cries, etc. But then what happens is, to console herself, she goes and gets into bed with Jay. And they're reconciled at the end of the episode. So
Cal fucking surprise.
Well, it's also carefully constructed.
Yes.
There's conflict and this resolution.
Yeah.
But it also paints Vicky as quite an emotional, weak and pathetic character at the end, whereas at the start of it, she was painted as this no-nonsense, I'm taking no bullshit, you cannot control me.
But it's not even like a journey. This is all done in the space of 50 minutes.
Yeah.
It's just various emotional states which are then forgotten about.
Yeah.
So I'm sure the next episode, there's going to be no overhang from this. I'm fairly certain.
Well, it just made me think that actually the producers saw in Vicky real potential for, she was essentially the star of the show at this point.
Right.
So they're pummeling her.
Right.
They're
Putting her through the ringer.
Putting her through the ringer, trying to get all sorts of emotion out of her, because they know it's going to be TV gold.
Yes.
And I just think, if there's a lesson in, if there's like a moral tale to this, it's be careful what you wish for. That fame can bite you back.
Yes. Yeah. 'Twas it ever thus.
Yeah, but which makes it all the more pertinent that we talk about Vicky a little bit later on.
Fine. I mean, and all this, it just felt very light. It felt very disposable TV. There was nothing kind of real. It wasn't edifying. It wasn't, it wouldn't make me think about things. It was just something that was happening.
Yes.
And as we said, riddled with those kind of gendered expectations of behaviour, what the girls and the boys. The kind of Vicky stuff is a bit, really, why we're doing this? It just felt silly.
Yeah.
Just felt like it was okay. One self-induced argument to another.
What about alcohol?
Well, that's the other big thing, isn't it? Because it is just this sense of just getting pished, just out to get pished. And
it reminds me of the Common People song, the Pulp song, Common People, dance, drink and screw, because there's nothing else to do.
Yeah, well, there we go. That kind of nihilistic feeling of writ large in this.
But it is, I mean, like, we're both from the north. We've both experienced this drinking culture. There isn't a huge amount for young people to do if they haven't got much money. To spend it on booze a lot of the time, going out,
get out your head,
tashing on, as they say.
Yes, yeah. Which I'd never heard actually, tashing on.
But also, I've always thought that because it's so fucking cold up north, there's nothing else to do. It's not like continental culture where you've got wide boulevards, you've got tables and chairs outside where you can sit and eat. Like the European experience of having a glass of wine with a meal. There's none of that there. No. It's all kind of Wetherspoons.
To be fair, now Newcastle has got a bit more of that culture, probably because there's lots of people visiting from all around the country, but it's just the weather. You can't rely on it. Somebody like to get some freezing cold fret, some of that sea mist pissing down, so -5 or whatever. So it's not exactly conducive to sitting outside. In the summer, if it's a hot day, fair enough, but bloody hell, they are few and far between often. Really.
Tell me about it.
Yes, these problematic elements. You could argue, at some level, that the participants get money.
Yeah.
They get platforms to promote themselves. They do get some kind of autonomy in their own careers afterwards. They're not hidebound to the show. As I said, their sexual agency, their kind of is unapologetic, which I actually really enjoyed. Not in a kind of pervy way. I just thought it was refreshing. And, well, we'll find out that the cast are able to control their brands after the show. So as a way for young working class people to make it, I think, okay, fair enough. It's just, has to be this kind of horrible way or get this horrible put through the emotional ringer, or these nonsense, just one fucking debate. They've got 50 minutes to fill, so let's have another argument. It just seemed a bit...
I think quite a few of the cast have come out of it quite burnt.
Right.
But what would you say the show's influence to this day is?
Well, as we discussed at the start, it's really at the beginning of this time when online culture becomes the thing. So you could argue, is this the beginning of influencer culture? Reality TV is a way of just getting constant content to put online. You're getting the blurring of screen personas and real personas, because ostensibly they're playing themselves. It might be slightly hyper extensions of themselves, but there's a confusion of the boundaries between real self and kind of social media self, just like today.
Yeah.
And you create outrage, or you create intimacy, and you get rewarded for it. As at now, we've just got algorithms that reward you even more for it. So it's still really, really. I mean, it's the future. It's now. It's 15 years ago, I think. I think it's the beginning of this. And I think that whole thing about the blurring between online and real identities is really kind of the salient point of this, I think.
Yeah, because like online, it comes across as we really like each other.
Absolutely. Look at all those perfect Instagram posts of families, or, just that pressure to be a certain image online, which is what you're smirking at.
That was a joke.
Oh, was it?
I meant that online it comes across like we really like each other.
Oh, us two specifically?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know if anybody's taken in by that, Dave, honestly.
Finished, yeah. When are you going home?
About an hour. Wish you'd hurry up and get on with it. Now, you want to talk a bit more about Vicki Pattinson,
I
didn't
do,
you?
because I'm a little bit in love with
Queen
her.
Vicky.
Yeah, after
Is she a
watching
queen?
this.
Good. What? Why?
We're just talking
Why?
over just basically talking over each other then. I really love Vicki Pattinson, and I didn't before I watched this episode.
Okay. Sorry, I'm drinking a glass of water like Donald Trump. Look at me.
Weirdo.
With both hands. Weirdo.
It's because you're old.
Shut up.
Okay, so Vicki Pattinson, so what's she got on to do? So she... Will you stop
I can't help
coughing
it.
over my lines?
Oh my God.
We're going to fall out.
We're going to fall out.
It's a good job you're going home in about an hour.
I tell you. This is what it's like, really. This is the online. This is the offline. Not the face, David. Not the face.
You're doing it on purpose. So stop it.
Okay.
Okay, it's like you fucking cunt.
We love each other, really.
Oh, we do. We love each other. Like I love syphilis.
Yes.
All right, then. So what has happened to Vicki
Pattinson?
Vicki Pattinson? So she went on to broaden her career beyond Geordie Shore.
Right.
Winning I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here in 2015. So another reality show, And has since worked as a television presenter, columnist, author, and mental health advocate, becoming a familiar voice in UK popular culture and social commentary. And obviously she also competed in Strictly Come Dancing last year.
Right.
Yeah. So what has Vicki Pattinson said about Geordie Shore and her relationship with alcohol? Now, she has been very vocal about this, especially her relationship with alcohol, which we see writ bare in Geordie Shore, don't we? She's done documentaries about it. So she opened up about how alcohol shaped her childhood and her time on Geordie Shore. Growing up with an alcoholic father, she said, my childhood is peppered with moments that I thought were normal. If you asked me at 8 years old if I was ever going to have a drink, I would have said, no, there's no way I'm ending up like my dad. On the show, she admitted, for so long I cultivated this image as the loudmouth party girl. When I go out, I feel that pressure to get drunk and perform that role. Otherwise, who am I?
Wow.
Reflecting on her documentary, Vicki Pattinson, My Dad, Alcohol and Me, she said, my biggest fear was, maybe you're just going to be an alcoholic because your dad is. That would have been the worst. So looking back at old footage, she confessed, fuck it, I'm going to get drunk. Looking back, I was so shocked. I said that. It was nothing to be proud of. Her honesty reveals a journey of self-awareness, confronting past excesses and learning to manage her relationship with alcohol.
Wow. So she's coming from all that and they're still... Now, again, this is like getting into bed with Satan, isn't it? Because although you've got this background, you've got a TV producer who's saying, we're going to make this show that could make you famous. Of course you're going to do it. And you're going to be exploited and...
But you need to get drunk.
Yes.
That's what we need. Drunk people.
Yeah.
Drunk people having sex and arguing.
Yeah. It left a bit of a nasty taste in my mouth, if I'm being brutally honest. I couldn't really...
I mean, it was so voyeuristic.
Yeah.
It was like driving past a car crash and not being able to avoid looking.
Here's a question
Yeah.
for our listeners and viewers. Why is it some people get remembered as cheeky and others get remembered as out of control? That's for discussion at home with your friends and family. You know, what is it? What's the difference? Is it a gender thing? Is it certain behaviours are allowed to be for certain people? You know, but...
Is it people managing to mask
Yes, exactly.
their true personas?
Right.
Honestly, that's far too many questions for a Sunday morning. I can't cope with it all.
Right, with all that being said, what would you give us
Yes.
out of 10?
I mean, I quite enjoyed it as just watching it, just to see what the culture was in 2011 for this particular group of people as a kind of social experiment. And an exercise in producer manipulation and forming stories and narratives, conflicts, resolutions, and all that kind of thing. So, I would give it 8 out of 10.
Eight what?
8.
8?
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Yeah. I would give it 8 Jaeger bombs out of 10.
Right.
What about you?
I just thought it was shit. I just wasn't interested. It wasn't, I mean, obviously wrong age, but it just felt like it was just frothed up nonsense in order to fill 50 minutes of my life that was unedifying, and the only thing that really interested me was the boys' boobs. So as a basis of that, I'm going to give it 1 kebab out of 10. I thought it was dreadful.
Really?
I thought it was dreadful.
I just watched it, again, just to round off what I said at the beginning. I tried to watch it without judgment of these people.
Yeah, there was no judgment.
And to look at it as what was... I was a stupid idiot when I was 22 years old. I would have, if someone had put a camera on me, I probably wouldn't have been as near as entertaining as these people.
Right.
But I was still doing stupid, ridiculous things.
Yeah.
Anyway, shall we have a little palate cleanser?
Oh, yes, please, because next week, everybody, it's my birthday. So, no, it's not. Well, it is my birthday, but that's not what we're talking about. Next week is Valentine's Day. So we thought we'd do something wholesome, completely unproblematic, I'm sure. We're going back to the 50s.
50? Have we been back to the 50s before?
Not for a while, actually. And we're going to have a little bit of Doris Day and Rock Hudson.
Oh.
I know, as we look at 1959's Pillow Talk. I've never seen it. I don't think I've ever seen a Doris Day film.
No,
Yeah.
I haven't.
So is it going to be a lovely, charming love story, or possibly a 1950s, maybe a little bit dodgy? We shall see.
We shall see. We're doing a lot of screeching handbrake turns.
We are. Keep up, everybody.
Yeah.
We're on the roller coaster that is a problematic gaze 2026.
Dad's Army to
Geordie
Geordie
Shore
Shore to Pillow Talk.
Yeah.
Yes, well, we'll look forward to that. In the meantime, please do follow us on our socials at Podcast Gaze on Instagram and TikTok. And if you want to email us, please email us at theproblematicgaze@gmail.com. Hit that follow button, please, or hit that subscribe button if you're on YouTube, because they really do help spread the word of the problematic gaze.
Indeed. Right, I'm off to pick a fight with a gadget that's gone rad doing the fucking big mark, and I'm going to yark some bastard arse.
And I'm going to Google Translate what Lee's just said for the benefit of our listeners. I'll post it on our Instagram. Thank you.
Until then, au reservoir.
Au reservoir.